And it was a lot of fun to be with so many different theater professionals who were there because they didn't have any work too. And the essence of the work itself, the educational aspect, I found was very rewarding. We did everything from Shakespeare and Aeschylus and Sophocles to the most contemporary writers, the young writers who were just making their way in the theater. And there was tremendous enthusiasm. Audience response was terrific. They'd rise up out of their seats at the end of a first act and cheer and yell. There was great enthusiasm because up to that point, although theater by today's standards was very cheap, let me say that the cheapest seat on Broadway was 55 cents in the second balcony, and then $1.10 in the mezzanine, and $2.20 in the orchestra. So although that sounds appallingly cheap by today's standards, that was real money then. Because I should add what my salary was in that job. All of us, except for the non-WPA professionals they used, it was $23.86 a week. Now you think that's the price of a modest luncheon today. Exactly. And yet you could live on it. The great majority of Americans were living on $1,000 a year at that time, and $23.86 amounted to about that.
What do you think the WPA meant to the country?
Oh, I think it was of enormous value to show that the government had a need and a right to step in when people were in very serious economic trouble and help them. I don't think the country could have relied on private enterprise at the time to do that. Obviously it didn't. The percentage of unemployment was way up high. I stayed on the Federal Theatre for 3.5 years. I always hoped I could get a job paying more, but it just didn't happen. I stayed on it until 1939, in the middle of 1939, from 1936. And at that point, I would have continued, except because there was no other job at the moment. And at that point, the Congress stepped in and killed the theater project because they felt the plays we were doing were too inflammatory at times, rousing public opinion. And so the Congress, chiefly Southerners, Southern Democrats, stepped in and killed it. That was just a budget-cutting thing mixed with the political motive of trying to hush us up.